Are you an established small business owner or aspiring entrepreneur? Would you like professional advice to help your business grow and succeed? Well, look no further. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center is the territory's #1 resource to move your business forward. Enjoy no-cost advising, low-cost training, and technical assistance from experts in both the public and private sectors. The VISBDC is nationally accredited and sustained by the University of the Virgin Islands and the U.S. Small Business Administration. Visit us at our locations on St. Thomas, St. John, or St. Croix, and follow us on social media at VISBDC. For easy access to all our training and networking events, be sure to join our newsletter and download the VISBDC app. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center, here to help your business start, grow, and succeed.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the VISBDC's hosting of Energy Efficiency Tips for USVI Brick and Mortar Businesses. This session will teach the best practices and strategies to reduce energy waste and the cost of utility bills to increase revenue for your small business. So I'm gonna give everyone in the audience a friendly reminder to put your questions in the chat, and they will be addressed by the presenting team either directly in the chat or later during the question and answer segment. So Mr. Carl Joseph is our lead presenter, and he's going to begin sharing his screen so we can see his PowerPoint. So just a friendly reminder, after this live event, please fill out the training post survey and let us know how we are doing. So, Mr. Joseph, we see your screen, and without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to you so that you can go ahead and formally introduce yourself.
Well, good morning, Miss Industrious Phillips. Can everyone hear me real clear?
Yes, we can.
Okay, well, good morning, everyone. As we know, today is Friday, and thank God it's Friday. And our topic today will be energy efficiency tips for USVI brick and mortar businesses. And so let's start. Let's start. First of all, we'd like to say thank you to the UVI Center for having us today on the behalf of our the Virgin Islands Energy Office and our director, Kyle Fleming, our team here at the VIEO. Thank you very much for inviting us, and hope we have a great day today. Thank you. So let's move forward. Everyone, as we mentioned before, energy efficiency tips for USVI brick and mortar businesses and how to reduce your energy expenses. My name is Carl Joseph, Energy Analyst 2 at Virgin Islands Energy Office. First of all, for us to even, tackle energy efficiency in small businesses, we need to, check the landscape. The energy landscape has changed in the Virgin Islands and throughout the world. So these are 3 areas, for example, we can look at as far as reducing our fossil fuel consumption and also getting into the renewable energy business. So if we're going to do that, we have to look at the different types of energy, renewable energy sources or alternative energy sources. So here we have 3, for example. We have natural, we have propane, we have solar, and we have some wind turbines here. Okay, so first of all, for us to even look at tackling or handling energy efficiency, low cost energy rates, we really have to know what our electrical rate is per kilowatt hour. And before we can move forward, that is. Okay, so let's look at it. What's the rate structure looks like here in the Virgin Islands. First of all, we have, as we see here, 41 cents residential and commercial, starting with 41 cents in the residential area. But don't let that fool you. That's only the first 250 kilowatt hours. And so as you surpass 250, when you get to 251, everyone, it's a different number. It's 43 cents. Now on the commercial level, now we're talking about 47 cents. So it's a difference. It fluctuates between 6, right, and 4 cents here. Okay. Remember that, everyone. Now, if you don't know how to really calculate your, how much, what your bill looks like, I can help you with that one. Okay. We're going to first calculate the first 250 kilowatt hours. And that will be, let's do that. Let's do some math here, everyone. Let's do that first calculation to get an idea what we are talking about, what it looks like, what the figure looks like, the dollar figure looks like. If you're paying 41 cents at 41 cents and at 250. So we're going to go 250 times 0.41. Okay. And we should have it. It should be, everyone should have this number, $102.50. So your first 250 kilowatt hours should be that. Anything after that, so for example, if we add another kilowatt hour moving forward, we already surpassed the 250. So what would it be? We'll add, say, plus another 43 cents, 0.43 cents, right? So it'll be $102.93. I hope everyone gets it. All I did was add 43 cents to the 250, to the 102.50, okay? And it came up to 93, 102.93, okay? Moving forward. So when we have commercial, we cannot do that. Commercial is not like that. We just did a residential instead of 250, 251. Commercial, it stays at 47 cents. Okay, let's move forward. Energy is now a major cost, and we have established that's why everyone is really careful about their energy consumption, because it could be a second mortgage, right? So let's look and see. Now, number one, it says it can erode your budget. Okay. Businesses have pretty much a fixed budget. Okay. Because you want to make a profit also. So it can affect your ability to make timely payments. So having a business, you want to make sure that you're making timely payments, your rent, if anything, your property mortgages, all that good stuff. But most of all, it can harm your credit rating. So it is very important that you keep your costs down when it comes to electricity. Okay, let's move forward. Common energy saving measures. What can we do to, help alleviate, say large consumption in your business? What can we do about it? Let's start out here. Operation and maintenance. That I think that's one of the number one thing where you can attack and create low cost measures in, regulating and, and checking how much energy you produce or use. Okay. Now you want to be efficient. That's the most important thing in this whole energy business. Efficiency is one of the most important thing you can do yourself as a business owner, a homeowner. You can take this in your hands and look at the low cost measures and change, with some change, of course, but you're going to have to change your lifestyle, the way you do things. So let's look at these low cost measures. Okay, regularly check and maintain equipment to ensure that it's functioning properly. Now, that is easy. That's what we call preventive maintenance checks and services. That is easy. That means you try to identify a problem okay, or just any minor mishaps before it becomes major, okay? So optimize startup time and downtime of the equipment in sequence, sequence it, right? So revise your janitorial practices. Now, everyone, this is this is a fluid and dynamic situation when you're talking about energy efficiency, okay, and reducing your energy consumption, okay. You have to be engaged, okay. These four items here, that's listed here, these are just four low cost measures, right? We can move further, okay. These are other measures right here. Repair leaking faucets, right? Now, if you repair leaking faucet, you're saving water, and you're also saving energy, because if, for example, if you have a cistern and you need to pump that water, you're using energy to pump that water. If you're getting water from Whopper, right, they're pumping that water to you, so you're saving on both areas by repairing leaky faucets and stuff like that, okay. Install water sense. Now, water sense products, we're going to talk about this as we move forward. Any water product or appliance, you should be looking at two things, right? Basically, that to help you acquire these products. And these labels are Water Sense and also Energy Star. These two labels are going to really, really help you. So moving forward, we're going to talk about that. So consider having an energy audit. That's another thing. Before you do anything in your home, you should really do an energy audit to identify the areas where building systems have become inefficient over time, right? For example, I'll give you an example. An audit. If I bought a refrigerator in 1920, and I'm still trying to run it right now, it's not going to be as efficient as one that I bought last year, right? So each year, the appliances, they get more efficient. And that's what we should be looking at, using less energy to achieve our goal. That's what energy efficiency is, the least amount of energy to achieve your goal. So let's move forward. Okay. We're going to purchase now some water fixtures, right? We talked about it. So for example, here's a label, the Water Sense label. It helps people save water with the product label and tips. So this is what it does. EPA came out and they decided, we're gonna see how we can help customers reduce their water consumption. So they got with several companies, and they developed the EPA criteria, right? And this criteria is energy efficient water sense water products. Okay. So for example, if you buy a product and you see this label, water sense label, that is the most efficient water product out there that you can buy. Okay. Let's move forward. Now, lighting. This is another. I'm going down the different areas where you can really use low cost measures, okay, to maximize your energy efficiency. Okay. Daylight. Okay. Daylighting, opening up or closing blinds. That means in your home, for example, if you are able to use natural daylight during the daytime hours, you don't have to put on your light. You don't have to, say turn off lights, for example, when you're not in the room. That's saving energy. During the day, you don't have to turn on the light because you have your natural daylight. So that is self-explanatory, right? Use task lighting, for example, when where feasible, okay? And that should be your standard moving forward. Okay, that should be your standard. Now, there are other ways you can do this the professional way. Check your light levels against standards, okay, from Illuminating Engineering Society, IES. right? For example, okay, you can hire someone to do that, okay? But this, again, you can also do it yourself. Now, let's move forward. Rapid payback measures, for example. We talked about lighting. And so how does that help you as an individual at home? It helps you because what you're going to do, you're going to replace the old fluorescent and incandescent lighting you have with Energy Star lighting, for example, LEDs. Okay, LEDs, we know, light emitting diodes, right? That's what it is, actually. Okay, it, for example, I'll give you an example. Before we had light brightness was measured in wattage. Now we don't do that. We do measure it in lumens. So for example, before when I needed a 60-watt illumination light bulb, right? A light bulb that gives me the illumination of 840 lumens, right? Which is equivalent to 60 watts of energy, right? That's how it was, calculated back then. Now we have 840 lumens, which is equivalent to 60 watts, but we only need around 9 watts minimum or right now or maximum to produce that 840 lumens, which is equivalent of our past 60 watts. So we're now saving approximately on that one light bulb with 60 watts, 840 lumens, that only needs 9 watts to get that brightness. We're saving approximately 51 watts. That's a great savings right there. So that's how LED works, and that's how lumens are calculated. And so we have now more brightness with less energy. If everyone understand that. Now, before I go any further, are there any questions, Miss Industrious Phillips? You in the chat? Anyone have any questions so far? Hear it, no? Okay, let's move forward. Okay. Now, we talked about lighting. We talked about the differences in the different types of lights out there. We talk about lumens, and now lumens is the way to buy light bulbs. You measure the brightness through lumens, but actually the wattage is less now. So the new way to shop for lights, let's look at it, okay? For example, remember I mentioned lumens, right? So here's the lumens. That is the light output, right? We mentioned 840 lumens, that's a light output. We mentioned the wattage, how much wattage it takes to get that lumens output, right? And the efficacy, okay, which it says 93%. Now, 93% means a whole lot of things, okay? The color accuracy, you have all these things right here, but basically what it's saying, you're only using 9 watts to produce this amount of brightness, right? The efficiency is, the efficacy is 93, it's 93, it's almost 100, 70, okay? And more than that, it's also cool, okay? Because guess what? It's using less energy here, okay? Less energy. That means the light bulb is much, much cooler, okay? Got it? And that's what's really helping us, because if we had a light bulb, which was with 60 watts, we know it's going to be hot. And at the same time, we're cooling, and this is heating. So this is going to help us a lot. It's going to reduce the amount of heat that is being produced by light bulbs. Okay, let's move forward.
Mr. Joseph, we have a
Yes.
question.
You have a question? Okay,
Yes.
let's get back to it. Thank you. Uh-huh.
Is it advisable to turn off the breakers every morning when you leave the house?
No, I wouldn't do that. What you can do is to actually on the I think they're turning off the breaker because a device that is connected to that circuit, they want to turn that off. For example, the heater. I was looking at that's a problem they're having with the heater. They want to turn the heater off, right? I would suggest that you get we have a timer, a built-in timer. So you will need an electrician, a certified electrician to do that. And everything we're talking about today, I would like to first, before I even continue any further, stress safety. Safety is one of the most important things when you're dealing with electricity. So safety first. What I'm talking to you about, you would need a certified electrician to install this timer. It is, for example, if you have the hot water heater, it'll be a hot water heater timer, for example, that will be on that circuit that it's and hopefully you have one with a battery backup. Okay, for example, if the power goes out, that it can continue to work. Okay, so you will connect that onto that circuit where the heater is and put a timer on it. So, for example, if you want to shower when you get home at 6:30, and in the morning when you're leaving, you're gone for the day, you say, okay, I want this thing to turn itself off at 8:30 in the morning when I leave when I leave my home. I want it to come back on again around 6:30 because I'm going to take another shower about 7 o'clock. So give me a half an hour for it to come on, warm up, for it to get ready. Something like that is possible. Yeah. I wouldn't suggest keep taking on and off breakers because the breaker is set there for a reason and it has a spring. So if anything that is going on, overheating, whatsoever, anything that is defective on that circuit, that breaker is going to trip. So I would not want to be messing with that part of the mechanism of the breaker by playing with it back off and on, off and on. That's not what it's made for. Okay. I hope that answer satisfied that individual.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move forward. Okay, purchasing appliances. Remember we talked earlier, we talked about water sense products, and we're talking about now purchasing appliances, electrical appliances. Now, there is one label out there that really helps and guides us, into purchasing energy efficient appliances, and that is Energy Star, energystar.gov. You can find products there that are really, certified by Energy Star. And this is what Energy Star is. Energy Star is a voluntary partnership of the U.S. Department of Energy and the U.S. Department of EPA Environmental Protection Agency, right, with manufacturers, retailers, utilities, and state organizations worldwide. And the same thing, it does the same work like the Water Sense, okay, label. Okay, they're going to promote the development and sale of high quality energy efficient products. Okay, that exceeds, listen, everyone, it exceeds federal specifications for energy use. So that means you're getting some of the most, what we'll say, the top quality energy saving appliances. Okay. And I would suggest that you always go and make sure that any item that you're buying is Energy Star or Energy Sense rated. Okay. Now, this right here, everyone should be paying attention to this, the energy guide label. Now, we can do some calculations. Okay. First of all, when I look at this whole thing, the first thing that gets me is that it says it's going to cost me $77 to operate this refrigerator. I hope everyone knows this is a refrigerator energy guide, as it says right here. Okay. You will find this in your refrigerator. And this energy guide also tells us that this product is an Energy Star product. It says here, Energy Star logo means this product is better for the environment and it uses less energy, right? Okay. It also tells us it uses 600, it's estimated now to use 640 kilowatt hours per year. Okay, these are given. These are given. These are positive givens, right? So now, how am I going to calculate if this how much this refrigerator is going to cost me per year in the Virgin Islands? I cannot use that estimated $77 here because this is this is not real. Okay, this cannot be real because this amount of kilowatt hours per year is a whole lot of kilowatt hours. So let's start calculating, everyone. If I calculate this, how would I start? Now, we can't see each other, but so I'm going to start off and help you out. I'm going to start out with 640. Remember, we did that calculation earlier today. We're going to start out given 640. We know we have to take away 250. So we're going to minus 250, right? Because we know that 250 is a different price from 640. Okay. Okay. 250 is a different price from 640. I think the very first time we did a calculation was $102.50, right? $102.50 is what it costs us for the first 250 kilowatt hours, right? So what we're going to do, we subtract 250 from 640. I get up, end up with 390 kilowatt hours that I have to now figure out how much is that. I have to calculate that now by how much? 43 cents. Everyone, I hope you understand this part. We had 640. We took 250 from the 640 because that's a different category, okay, of rate. So we ended up with 390 kilowatt hours. So what we're going to do, we're going to multiply that by 0.43 cents, right? I get now $167.70. I hope everyone gets that one and 70 cents. So for us to get the total cost per year of this refrigerator, we're going to now add the $167.70 plus the given, which is the 250 kilowatt hours, the balance, right? 102.50. Gleich, we have a total per year. That refrigerator is going to cost us $270.20. Okay, that's how easy it is. It is not the estimated $77 because the only way we'll get $77 is if you're probably around 10 cents, 7 cents, 6, 7 cents around there. That's the only way you're going to get that. Okay. All right. Let's move forward. And the difference here is we pay 43 cents. Now, if, for example, we're talking about commercial now, right? This is residential. We just calculated a residential, and that was cheap. It says $270.20. Now, let's calculate, everyone, please. Let's calculate if you had a business, right? How much would this be? And we said the kilowatt cost per hour for commercial businesses is 47 cents, right? 47. So we have 640. When 640 times 0.47 gleich, that would be $300.80. Okay? And 80 cents. Now, everyone, commercial is expensive. Imagine if you had that, you have your residential home and you're paying 47 cents. Okay. So that's the difference. It's probably a difference of $20, $30, $30. Okay. $30. It's probably a difference of $30. Okay. This is 300 for your commercial and 270/20. 380 for commercial and 270/20 for residential. Okay. So I hope everyone understands that. Now, with this model, I can only tell you, you're able to do your to budget because you know it's a given. You know every year, hopefully, that this refrigerator, if you have a business, it's going to cost you $300.80 per year to operate, and that is very good. That is very good. Okay, let's move forward. Go back. This guide tells you how your equipment compares with others of the same size in terms of energy use. So guess what? You can also make comparisons, right? And how you're going to make the comparison due to the capacity. Okay, it's saying the description, make, and model is telling you, and here's saying you can compare it with others, make and models, the same size, okay, but different make. Okay, let's move forward. Now, plug and load. Plug and load, low cost measure. We're still on low cost measures for your office, office equipment, anything low cost. We said earlier, purchase Energy Star certified office equipment and electronics and establish a procurement policy for energy saving products. Okay, that's what we just did. By doing what we're doing, looking at Energy Star products, and water sense products, we're actually we're procuring and creating and establishing our own little policy. Okay, enable the power management function on office computers. So you're adapting now, buying equipment, you're buying Energy Star equipment, you're buying appliances, and you're reading the management function of these appliances. It is so important. For example, we buy an AC and it says, just put it in the normal operating mode or best practices mode. We don't do that, right? We want to turn it all the way up, or it's too warm, it needs a little bit more air. And if we put it in that position, it would help us, it'll be more efficient, it'll work more efficient, right? The recommended position. Okay, so these are just some of the measures we can take using Energy Star certified products, okay, or equipment. Another low cost office equipment measure: activate sleep settings on all printers, copiers, fax machines, scanners, multifunctional devices, so they automatically enter a low-powered sleep mode. Now, this is very important. How often do we get up from our desk or we're working on something and we stop? We're distracted, or we made a conscious decision to do something else, but forgetting that we have this piece of equipment or appliance on, right? And if it's like it says, it has the sleep settings, it automatically goes back into that standby mode. And in standby mode, we know we're using less energy, of course. Okay. Plug electronics into smart power strips. Oh, great stuff. Someone asked also about the breaker, right? You can also use a power strip. A power strip with a timer is a good device, right? it You can program it and it goes off and goes on according to how you would like. Okay, so that's another area in which you can save energy. Okay, low cost measures in cooling. Set back the thermostat in the evening and other times when the building isn't occupied. Self-explanatory. Why are we going to do that? No one is in the building. It doesn't have to be free. We don't have to keep it. And I would recommend that you keep all building temperature settings at around 75. 75 to 78 degrees is what's recommended. I know a lot of us would love to be in Alaska during the summertime in the Caribbean, but it's not efficient. Okay. And again, we're going to be seeing this word a lot. Maintenance, perform monthly maintenance. That's one thing. If we're looking for longevity, with our appliances, our devices, we're going to have to do maintenance. Okay. Preventive maintenance checks and services are always recommended because, first of all, you're going to catch any deficiency that is trying to, creep up on you. You're going to see it right away. Okay, you're going to identify it, and then you're going to try and use corrective measures, of course, to change that. Okay, but perform monthly maintenance, okay, of cooling equipment to guarantee efficient operation throughout the year. And we all know what we have to do: regularly clean or change your heating ventilations, right? Air condition filters every month. They have a maintenance plan. Develop a maintenance plan. If you do that, you cannot imagine how long your equipment will work and how much money you will save by doing that. Okay. Let's go low cost measure. We're still on low cost measures, everyone. Block direct heat gain, sunshine through glass. Okay. Of course, we have low E windows. They're not as price, let's say, as cheap, or they're on the high side when it comes to the pricing. But what I can tell you is you're going to get your return very quickly, because imagine this: having a low E window, your UV rays are not actually coming through, they're being repelled. So that means if you have your AC on in your home, right, that low E window is going to repel the UVs. Your AC is not, the room is not going to get as heated as it normally would. And that means your AC was going to work less, right? That's what this is about, by blocking heat gain from sunshine through glass. And so a low E window is the ideal product to solve that situations. Okay. Now, these are just some of the ideas or advice you can take from us here. Block direct heat gain from sunshine through glass on the east and especially the west side of the facility. Now, that's very important, and I just explained to you why. If you are working in an environment where you need the temperature to be acceptable for you to work there, you need to have AC, but you don't want your AC working too hard either, right? If you have a computer room, right? You don't want too much heat staying in that computer room, and you don't want to have an AC unit that is too small for that computer room either. Okay. So all this thing is sizing, it's blocking, it's gaining, so you're doing all kinds of things just to optimize your energy consumption in an efficient way. That's all it is, you know. So for example, by cleaning the evaporator and condenser coils on air conditioners or chillers, what does that do? It makes it work better, right? It works a lot better. Repair damaged insulation. Okay, replace missing insulation. You're just keeping your equipment at a high level of efficiency. That's all it's doing. And by doing that, you're gonna reduce costs. And like we are saying here, we're taking low cost measures. It doesn't cost us much to do these things right here, and it's gonna have a major effect on your energy consumption. Okay, that's what that is. Next.
So, Mr. Joseph, we did have a question around this.
Oh,
Someone
sure.
asked, what about temperature settings around standalone electronic equipment for longevity and insulation for networking server areas?
that this individual, and they understand exactly what we're talking about, because these are energy saving measures. Not only do they help you save energy, but it also extends, okay, the longevity of your equipment. And if we can do that, we're saving money, right? If we're using less energy, if we're maintaining the equipment, we're saving money. That money that we're using to maintain is less than if we have to buy and install a new piece of equipment, right? So you want to expand the longevity of your equipment and the efficiency as much as possible. And I hope I've answered that. So by doing these measures, taking up these low cost measures, you're helping yourself and your business, right? So here's one of them that you mentioned the caulking even just now. Plug air leaks with weather stripping and caulking. Keep exterior doors closed while running your HVAC system. It will help avoid wasteful loss of cool air. Okay. Set up an annual maintenance contract for your HVAC system to ensure that your contractor provide tune-ups and reduce chances of system breakdown. Now, you have a car, and your means of transportation, if that's the only means of transportation, you want to do the same thing you're doing with your energy consumption, your energy appliances, your water appliances. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. Let's move forward. Payback, rapid payback measures. Someone was talking about, you mentioned Ms. Industrious, they wanted to know about, they were talking about some of these maintenance measures and what you can do. Now, this is one of the major the major advances that we have now in water pumps, pool pumps, anything that needs a lot of energy, but you need to do it in with a variable speed or variable frequency. That means instead of you getting that energy right away, it does it at a slow pace. It builds up at a slow pace, but it gets to that maximum effect, but it takes not a long time, but it takes its time to get there by not using a lot of energy. So it's very efficient. So we have these things what we call variable frequency drives or variable frequency motors, right? They're very efficient. They don't take on the load right away. They take their time and build up the power to be able to carry the load. So you're not drawing like these breakers, or I'll give you, for example, instant water heaters. Once you put in an instant water heater, it has a 40 amp breaker. When you turn on the water, it gets hot right away, right? Now, you have your conventional water heater. When you turn it on, it's been there cooking for a while, so it's ready to go. It took its time, and it has a 20 amp breaker. And it's taking its time and it's cooking. When you get ready to use it, it's there. Okay. It doesn't have to be preheated. It's already heated. Okay. That's what that is. So you're going to use less energy. It took its time to get there. Whereas the instant, you're going to get that power right away. Okay. That's the difference. So a variable speed motor starts off slowly and builds up. Okay. And that's where the efficiency comes in. You don't get that load on your back right away. Okay. Okay. Install windows, films, add insulation, reflective roof coating to reduce energy consumption. Now, these are great measures right here, especially the reflective roof coating. Okay. You want to keep the heat off of your roof. Okay. Not only that, if you have your AC on and the sun is coming down, to heat your roof, of course, the inside of your room is going to get hot also. So if you have a reflective coating now, which is a white coating, it reflects the sunshine and the UVs back out, right? It's going to keep the inside of the room cooler, and your AC is going to work less. Okay, that's what this is about.
We have a
And
question.
mm,
When
go
will
back.
the rebates for hot water heaters be reinstituted in the VI?
Oh, they are there already. Now, everyone on this program, we do have our rebate program, which will be starting up again. I have things coming later on this, which is gonna inform you of what you can do to get, for example, a solar water heater. We have that program. That program has been running now for a long time, where you get a 40% off of a complete system installed. I repeat, you can go to a vendor, that our recommended vendor. We're going to have a vendors list, and you can go on this list, locate a vendor in your area, get a quote, have it installed, and get a 40% rebate from the Virgin Islands Energy Office, which is linked to our rebate program. Okay, that is possible. I'm going to give you more information later on this one. But as I mentioned earlier, as I continue and mentioned earlier, if possible, upgrade your windows to impact resistant windows with low E glass. Remember, I mentioned this earlier. This is great. All this has to do with cooling. And by doing this, upgrading your window with low E windows, again, just like, right, we talked about the paint, the coating on your roof. This is works the same way. Okay. The reflective coating is the same way with the windows. It reflects. Okay. It reflects. Okay. And so if it's reflecting the heat back out, that means your AC have less work to do. Okay. In keeping your room clean, cool. I mean, excuse me. Okay. And here it says how low E window glass works, right? And helps reduce the transfer of heat through the window, typically used on multi-pane windows with argon gas filled, you know. So in our climate, the low E coating is applied to the outer layer, east and west facing windows. So everyone, I would do this. I would definitely do this, to reduce heat gain in my home, and that is going to help my AC work more efficiently. Okay, so I'm working on my windows, I'm working on my roof, right, to get the heat gain to, that relief in heat gain so that I can save on my AC. Makes sense. Okay. This is how it looks. For example, see the UV light is being reflected out, the summer heat reflected out, the wind, we don't have any winter, but it will be the same thing. Okay. The heat is coming back inside. Okay. That's what it is. Now, storm windows, isn't this a good thing for us? Right? We know it's a double pane, right? So at least storms, if the first one is broken, we still have the second one. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but those are the advantages of having such a window. Okay, let's move forward. Our behavior and education. Now, we're the occupants, right? How is our behavior gonna affect what we're doing? And how are we gonna educate others to continue to do the same thing we're trying to do now? Now we're gonna educate our staff about the basic principles of energy, right? Um, Before I go any further, Ms. Industrious Phillips, I would like to put forward a question. Can anyone tell me what the symbol of energy is before I go any further? Can I get that put it in the chat, put the answer in the chat? And I'm blind on the chat here, so I'm depending on Miss Industrious Phillips to tell me everything, right? How are we looking there? Hello? Mhm. What is the symbol for energy? Anyone have it? We might give away a prize on this one. Okay. Miss Industrious, Phillips, let me know if what the replies are. And if anyone gets it, I'll have a, a prize waiting for them. Okay? But let's continue. Occupants, right? That means you're living or you're working in this area, and it is your responsibility to create energy saving measures. It's also your responsibility to educate other staffs of the principles of energy management in your building or your office. So this is what everyone, once you have identified low cost energy saving measures, you should be willing and ready to pass it on to help educate, right? Your workers, your staff, it doesn't matter who, because by doing that, you're going to be having, first of all, it's going to save you money. It's going to save the environment. Okay. And most of all, it's going to save the greed in your pocket. So you would want to do that. You would want to encourage actions that apply to most of your employees' workspaces, right? Like turning off lights. These are energy saving measures. You want to pass it on. It's good for your business. Okay. It's good for your business. Okay.
We
Moving
have a
forward.
few answers to your question.
Yes.
We have
What?
atom, lightning in a circle, light bulb, lightning bolt.
Wow. Um, Before I go any further, I would like to say, how about I? Isn't that the symbol of energy? So today, everyone, you have learned the symbol of energy is I. A lot of people, that is it. Energy is I. So I know a lot of people heard I and this and stuff like that, but the symbol of energy actually is I. Okay. Now, if anyone has a different answer other than it's not correct, okay, but the symbol is I. Okay, let's move forward. Yes, mold prevention tips. For example, we know
I'm sorry, Mr. Joseph, but your audio, it's really low. We can't hear you anymore.
you can't hear me anymore.
Okay, we hear you loud and clear now.
It's better now.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. Now here we have mold prevention. Here's some tips on mold prevention for your small businesses also, right? We we recommend because remediation of commercial buildings. The key to mold control is moisture control. Now, what from experience, we know going out doing audits in buildings, right, that has mold problems, most of the time we find oversized or undersized AC units. That's one of the biggest things right there. Okay. So moving forward, I'd like to say if you're planning on buying an AC unit, right, you will want to make sure that you are sizing your unit correctly according to the size of your room or the load of the room. You have to do that also. Get a professional to do that. If you have how much cubic feet of room, you need to know what size AC for you to use in that room. So, and if you don't do that, you're going to run into a lot of problems. So watch for condensation and wet spots. prevent moisture. And anyone, you can take, please take a photo of this PowerPoint. It's a lot, but if you just take it, pay attention to the measures that preventive measures that we're talking about, it will help you in the long run. Okay. For example, relative humidity. I'm not, a lot of us, we're not, what do you say, weatherman or weather persons, so we wouldn't know all this stuff. So, but if we take, just look at these key factors right here, right? In controlling moisture, that will help us a lot at home. Maintain low indoor humidity, below 60% relative humidity. Um, Now, RH, ideally 30 to 50% if possible. Now, I wouldn't know how to do this. I would have to talk to a professional, right? And this will have to do with cooling. It has something to do with cooling, and it has to do with heating. So I would have to be talking to a professional here. And that's what we need to do. Okay. We need to more speak with professionals, have them do the assessments, get quotes, and make sure that do our own little research. That's at home. But for a business, you're also, you have customers coming in and out, so you're going to make sure that you have a company that's doing this work. Okay. And vet that company, see if they've done work in other places. Just don't call the first one, and make sure you're making a wise decision, wise choices. Okay, because you're going to be serving people, and if your business is not doing the right thing inside, okay, it's not going to be attracting the amount of customers that you expect to attract. Okay. Now, best practices for profiling energy use, right? So, for example, we know Energy Star has a portfolio manager, right, tool, which help measures and track the energy and water use and material and greenhouse gas emissions of your building. Imagine that you can get a tool to track all of these measures, right? So all you have to do is go to energystar.gov on the benchmark to learn more about this portfolio manager. Now, what you can do also, you can use the results to identify. This is what you're going to do. This is where your preventive maintenance checks and services comes in, right? If you can perform, right, perform services where you improve your efficiency, okay? You verify the efficiency, okay? Not only that, you make investments to improve on previous efficiencies. My God, it's over time. You'll have a management system in place that is definitely going to have superior energy performance. All you have to do is pay attention to what you have done, maintain what you have done. It will verify what you have done, and you continue to do it. Educate others to do the same thing. That's all. Energy audits. Now, I know also for businesses, small businesses, energy audits are essential. They are essential, and they're different types. So let's go about looking at them now. What is an energy audit, first of all? Energy audits are comprehensive reviews conducted by energy professionals and or engineers that evaluate the actual performance of your property's energy systems. Okay. So your energy systems, the performance, they evaluate the actual performance. You're not talking about virtual, we're talking about the actual performance on your property, right? And equipment against the design performance. So for example, if you buy ice machine, and it's supposed to, make 10 tons of ice per day, and it's only doing 8. It's not performing to its evaluated ability, right? It's not doing it. So we need to change it out or repair it, get it to that point where it's performing at its maximum capacity and its most efficient capacity. So that's where audits come in. Okay. You're able to go and check the equipment against their design performance. Okay. Audits alone don't save energy. You need to implement the recommended improvements to see savings. So as you see, audits do not save energy. What audits does, right? It helps you identify and gives recommendations where you can implement to improve and see savings. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, let's go now, because as I mentioned, there are different types of audits, and we're going to look at least 3 of them today. Types of energy audits. We have a level 1 walkthrough analysis. This focuses on low and no cost energy conservation measures and provides a list of high cost energy conservation measures. Okay, that's the level 1. So it focuses on low cost, right? Conservation, right? And it provides a list of high cost energy conservation. Okay, so it's showing you one thing and it's giving you a list for something else, right? So it's telling you, hey, listen, this is what it costs. It's no cost energy. You don't have to pay for this. You don't have to pay for this. But if you want to do this now, you have to pay a lot of money to conserve energy here. So these audits will result in a report about how much energy and money can be saved from specific efficiency opportunities. So here you're just looking for opportunities. Okay. You're looking at low and no cost energy conservations, right? But at the same time, you're going to find, by doing that, you're going to find, okay, higher cost energy conservation measures. You're going to notice, wow, I could do this, I can do that, and reduce my energy consumption. It's a high cost. But the next thing you're going to ask yourself, how long and how much do I have to invest before I start seeing savings? That's what this is about. Okay. How much do I have to invest? And how long before I see savings? Okay, this is what this level is about. Let's look at the next level. Level 2, energy survey and analysis standards. This includes more detailed energy calculations and financial analysis of proposed energy efficient measures. Now, we have identified, that's what it's saying, you have a detail now. You have an auditor came in, he identified, the deficiencies, and we're ready now to do our calculations, financial analysis of the savings you're about to get. Now, they say this list, typically a list of energy conservation efficiency measures, an estimate of the amount of money and energy that will be saved, and a cost estimate for each would be provided. So, for example, right, I will come in and do an energy audit. I will estimate the amount of money that will be saved. For example, you have 10 800 BTUs ACs, and I calculate that you probably only need 2 of them. Well, that's a savings. That's a big savings right there, right? And we calculate how much it's going to cost you to replace them. And once you put in the new ones, when are you going to start seeing your savings? immediately, or a month later, or 2 months later. And that's what we're talking about, the payback time. The payback time is how long before this product start paying me back for my investment. That means it already paid itself off, and now I'm making gains because this product now is paying me. Okay, it's paying me for the work that's being done. I paid to get it. Now it's paying me. Okay, it's doing the work, and I'm making money from it. That's what this energy audit is about. Telling you the cost, what it's going to cost you to replace, how long it's going to take before you recuperate that cost back. These reports will also include any changes needed to operate and maintain and maintenance procedures. So you see, all this is going to save you money in the long run. And that's a level 2 energy audit. Let's go to level 3 now.
We have a question.
Okay, let's go.
Does the VI Energy Office conduct energy audits that are complementary?
Um, Definitely we do, but that's linked to a program which is the weatherization assistance program for low income individuals, right? That's a special program. Um, if you want to check that out, please go to energy.vi.gov, and there should be some information up on our website about that. But that's income. What do you say? It's income attached. It has to do with your income. Okay, that program is based on income, and so we do audits for that complete program. We don't have enough personnel in our office throughout the territory to do audits. We do not have that. We had that previously, but that was only for a period of time. I hope that answered your question. Okay, let's go to the types of energy audits. Level 3, detailed analysis of capital incentive modifications. Now, this one says capital incentives. Okay, that means it's capital. You want to invest money. This is detailed analysis. So you want to invest money to make money. Okay, and by doing that, we're going to expand on the previous levels of effort, and it's based on a specific subset of energy conservation efficiency measures to analyze further. Okay, this may include further refinement of an energy model or more extensive data collection. So, for example, I'm going to give you an example. We have a backup system, emergency backup system that runs the whole entire operation if we lose in case of an emergency situation, right? Now, how can we make that system more efficient? How can we refine it? Okay, that it includes energy, a more extensive energy saving measures. Okay, how are we going to do that? What we can do, okay, we can reconfigure the system. We can say, okay, instead of running all appliances when the power goes off, we're going to only run essential appliances. So here it is now, we're reducing our output in energy. We're reducing our consumption of energy by doing that. Okay. We're being more efficient. Okay. And so we're going to now run a data collection. We're going to look at this model and see how it works before we implement it now. This is another way of, another detailed analysis of energy audits. Okay, level 3 energy audits, where we look at the situation, we build a model for it, or while we're doing that, we continue with more extensive data collection to see if it works, see what sort of model would work with our projection, and then we apply it. Okay, and that's how that works. We have any more questions on these 3 levels of energy audits? I'm willing to take questions now, Ms. Industrious Phillips.
We don't
Okay,
have any more questions at this time, but we can't hear you if you're talking.
okay, you can hear me though, right?
Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you now, but someone just asked if you can please expand more
expand more. Okay, well,
on lender requirements.
by lender requirements. Okay, listen. Let's go first back to finding an auditor. To find an auditor, you can check your utility company. They usually offer a free and inexpensive service, right? Or have an energy conservation department. That is a possibility. You could check with WAPA on that. The private sector companies include consultants, energy service companies, ESCO. No, that's another way. We use ESCO here in at the energy office. I don't know if people remember that the energy office was also using a company to go into the schools to do audits to reduce their energy consumption. That was an ESCO company. Okay, that's what these companies are called, energy service companies. Okay, and again, check your Energy Star and products and energy. We can also talk to um, get the Energy Star portfolio manager, right? Your state energy office may offer free inexpensive audits. And like I said, we do offer that, but through the WAP program. So these are ways you can find energy auditors. Okay, you can go online, try and do a little, do it yourself. Try something yourself, but I suggest you get a professional. Always reach out to a professional. Okay, when you're doing energy business, it's safety first. All right. Now, pre-audit checks and what Ms. Industrious Phillips mentioned earlier, she wanted some more input into that. So, how how you do pre-audit check? First create a checklist. Help your auditor determine the appropriate project recommendations by answering questions about your property's energy use and construction. So now you will have to be involved as the owner or manager of your building or your business. If your business owns the building it occupies, you have to be involved. You have to provide electrical and mechanical drawings of the property if possible. So your pre-audit checklist is you having to do some of these things yourself, which is going to get you involved more in your audit. Okay, you want to be involved in your audit. You want to know what your building is doing. You want to know what you can do to prevent any destruction or anything that's eroding your efficiency of your building. You will want to be involved. You will want to provide at least 12 months of utility data. Okay. So before you think about doing an audit, you will have to do all of these things yourself. You will have to get involved yourself as the property owner, as the business owner. Okay, you will need to do all of this. Okay, and that's once you start doing this, you're going to see the justification of you doing it. By just getting involved, you're going to find out why you did it, the benefits of it, and why you should continue doing it. Okay, These are the things you're going to find. Okay. Before I move forward, we're going to talk about renewable energy systems and the requirements for these systems. Okay. But any further questions before I move forward on that? No, not yet. No questions. So let's move forward. Requirements for solar systems. Everyone knows you need good sunlight, a flat, south-facing roof. Okay, no shading. And the advantages of solar is simple installation and a permitting process. Not so simple, but could be simple. And after it's installed, maintain it. It has no moving parts, and it has a lifetime of up to 25 years. Okay. Now, unobtrusive, right? They're saying you have to clean it, you have to maintain it, right? And that's what this training is about. It's about maintenance. Energy efficiency is also maintenance, because if you don't maintain your equipment, it's not going to work efficiently. It's not going to work effectively, right? So all this is about is maintenance, maintaining what you have, your equipment, okay? Maintaining it. Okay, buying recommendations for renewable systems. You get bids from multiple vendors. As a business owner, you want to get at least, if you're buying a system, an energy system, you need to get at least 3 quotes, at least 3 quotes. Get references and check with the references to get their feedback. You know, go out, do your due diligence. You know, do that work. You have to do your investigation. You have to do your research. You know, and that have the vendor include production guarantees. For example, if you're going to be doing some work on your HVAC, you know, select the right vendor, have guarantees in your contract, have also, you know, performance in your contract. You know, see how this thing works the first 6 months. Do I need to switch it? Let's check, ask the vendor, can we see if this product works good the first 6 months? And if it doesn't meet our expectations, can we, replace it? Try to optimize. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to optimize. You're trying to do, implement the best practices when it comes to anything energy efficiency and energy production. Okay. Best practices are always good. Okay. Now, have the vendor include production guarantees in writing in a contract. If the vendor is not willing to back up their claims in writing with how much money they will pay you if the system doesn't perform as promised, walk away and get someone else. I do agree with this. Okay. For example, I hope everyone is listening carefully today. One thing you will hear if you're going out to get a solar quote, okay, I can sell you a 10 kilowatt system, a 20 kilowatt system. First of all, anyone who tells you that without first coming to your house, doing an energy audit, doing an energy assessment, without looking at 12 months of electrical bill will not be someone you will use as a vendor, right? You know, you wouldn't you after today, you will not let anyone sell you solar, any electrical equipment without first doing your due diligence, you know. So I hope everyone is listening. Please, please do your research. Do your research. Come to the energy office. Call us if you have a question. Please call us before you make life-changing decisions. Okay. Let's move forward. Buying recommendations for renewable system. Remember, I just said secure if a vendor is trying to sell you something and they're not doing their due diligence in knowing what your needs, your actual needs are. And by knowing your actual needs, you need to know the actual output of the system yourself. You know, you need to know that. You need to inform yourself, okay? You need to be taught how to operate your system because, for example, during a storm, after a storm, everyone is complaining, oh, my installer he's not coming. I can't get anyone. You have a power generation system right there and do not know how to operate it, maintain it. At least, we always say safety first, but you need to have a operation manual and an operation license, okay? Yourself for your equipment. You need to have that, okay? Now, when you have a business, I would not be messing with inverter or any sort of renewable system if I'm not certified. Please do not touch these systems. You have a vendor, when the vendor, call your vendor. If you're capable of doing some of this work and you have had some training, which I recommend, it's great. But until you do that, please do not touch the equipment. Okay? Now, another thing, we either buy information provided by either an app, the inverter, or a separate utility grade meter, or ideally a combination of all. Okay. And so what we're saying, have some way to measure the output of your system. Okay. If you don't know the output of your system, you will not know how much energy you're producing. Okay. You will not know how much total of energy you're using. Okay. So all this is important. When you're buying a system, you also need to know yourself how the system operates. Okay. Okay. You also, unless you have metering, right? There's no way to check production claims. Okay. So here someone sells your system and you don't have any metering, so you don't know exactly what you're producing. So you need to have all the necessary devices that is attached to this system to give you all of the information that you need to be comfortable with, to know that your system is doing the work for you according to the investment you made, and it's the most efficient and effective system you have. Okay. The system may look good, but may not actually save you any money. I've seen contracts like that where it says this system is not to save you money or energy. Doesn't make sense, right? Okay, let's move forward. Things to consider before buying. Number one, understand the advantages of systems ownership or system ownership versus PPA alternative. Now, everyone knows, if you don't know what a PPA is, it's a power purchase agreement. For example, a company comes in and say, we're going to install a system on your home and we're going to only sell you the power. Okay, the power purchase agreement. So the system is on your house and they're going to sell you the power, if, for example, for 10 cents per kilowatt hour. That's what that is, a PPA. Okay, I build it and I'm just selling you the power that's being created there. Okay, prepare the installation site. Okay, these are things you need to know before. These are things you need to do before. Okay, you need to do these things before, everyone, because guess what? You're now going to buy and build your own power plant. It's a power plant, okay? Prepare the installation site, okay? Or where are you going to put it? Okay, we're thinking of putting it on the roof, so we have to have access. And, and what is your roof condition? What's the condition? Do I have to replace my roof? Do I have to replace some rafters, whatsoever, galvanize, whatsoever? Consider the sun's path. Which direction am I going to capture the sun from? And everyone, we only need the sun here for the light. Remember now, we're not using the heat from the sun to create any energy here. That's when you're heating water, if you have a solar water heater. But when we're talking about solar panels or photovoltaics, what we're looking for is the sun's light, okay? So we need to know in which direction, the path of the sun. So what are we going to do? We're going to most likely look to the south, because when we look to the south, the sun usually comes from the south. When you're dealing with solar modules or solar panels, you want to have the panels facing south. Okay. So consider the sun patch, which is south. So clear all the trees and make sure that the light is coming from the south, not the heat. Everyone, please, I hear about, oh, it's hot outside, the solar, we must be creating a lot of electricity out there because it's so hot. No, we do not use heat to create electricity. We use the light, the sunlight. Okay. Permitting and regulations. Now, DPNR, I cannot say anything about that. That is DPNR. That is DPNR. Roof load bearing capacity. Remember I said you must have your roof. It must be able to hold the capacity or the load of those panels. Okay, that system. It has to be able to be, mounted on your roof, and your roof has to be strong enough to withhold that installation. Okay. Warranty implications. Now, that's something you'll have to know. Please, I'm not certified. So if the installer, the company installed this system on my home, if I touch it, what happens? If someone else touches it, what happens? If it goes out of service before the time or whatever, what happens? So you have to know your warranty implications there, okay? And the material that you're going to use to hold this power plant on your roof, okay? So all these things you have to consider right here, okay? And these are just two so far. Let's continue. Things to consider. Let's continue. Number 3, gain an understanding of your energy consumption. Didn't we say that? We said this is the most important thing. How are you going to reduce your consumption if you don't know what your consumption is? Okay. How do you know you're consuming too much? If you until you know your consumption usage, you will not know that, right? So we need to know that. That's number one. That's number one. Okay. Now, partner with reliable installer with a proven track record. If you're thinking of doing, of course, installing this, you need to partner with someone, okay, who has a reliable track record. Now, we do have a list of installers that you can find at our website, and if it's not there, the one is coming soon. We are creating a list for it. So you can, reach out and we were able to help you on that one. Do your research and remember to set clear goals. Have an idea of what you need. Prioritize your must-haves. Okay. Now this is big. Must-haves. It's not needs, everyone. It's haves, right? Needs and haves. Oh my God. What must I have? I must have a system. What else is needed? I need batteries also. Okay, I must have a system, but once I get a system, I'm going to need batteries. Okay, you see the difference here? I must have, I want a system. Do I need a system? Or I must have, if I have a business, I must have a system because in case of emergency power outages, am I going to be able to serve my customers? So I must have one. Now, what do I need with this system to be able to serve my customers? I need batteries. Okay, see the difference? Must have and need. Have an idea of what you need. Prioritize what your must haves. Okay, I must have a system and I need batteries with it. Okay, consider professional guidance. As I've been saying before, when it comes to energy, please consider professional guidance. This is some dangerous stuff sometimes. It's safety first, okay? Safety first. Point 0.6 of an amp, point 0.6 of an amp will hurt you and, can kill you also. Always remember that. Point 0.6 of an amp, everyone, okay? Small number, but it's deadly. Okay, let's move on. Things to consider before buying. Try to anticipate your future energy needs. Okay, so for example, if I'm gonna put a 6 kilowatt system on my house, okay, I might say, well, I only intend to do this, but we know how things are. I might change my mind later on and want to buy another television or buy another freezer. These are things try to anticipate when you're buying systems, right? What's the if you anticipate on getting anything else in the future, and is it going to be able to your system going to be able to accommodate this piece of equipment that you're going to buy? Say, so you have a business, say you're doing fast food. You have one cooker right now. You have enough energy to, you know, supply that cooker with efficient and, sufficient energy also. But if you're thinking of expanding your business, right, and you're going to be needing another cooker, right, I would first have to see, make sure that I anticipate. I'm already anticipating what my future needs. So I'm building a little bit more, you know, my energy needs are going to be expanded a little bit more because I'm anticipating future energy needs. Okay. I'm anticipating adding more appliances. Okay. And that's all. And also, when I'm adding new appliances or I'm investing in new appliances, I'm going to also make sure that this appliance or these appliances are Energy Star, meaning they're going to have the potential to reduce my energy consumption from the previous appliances. Okay, so these new appliances going to replace more they're going to be more efficient. Okay, they're going to replace these gas guzzlers, and I'm going to now put in more energy efficient appliances. Okay, potential business expansion by adding extra rooms or other construction. Also, that has to do with anticipating your future energy needs. So because if I'm adding new rooms, I'm definitely going to need new energy. So all this is part of your energy audit, your future energy needs. That's all part of your energy portfolio. So that's what we're building. We're building an energy portfolio in your business, right? For potential expansions and all kinds of stuff there, right? The hiring of additional employees, right? Means extra equipment. the adoption of EV vehicles. You know, you need to also think of your energy needs. Okay, now let's continue. Number 7, for your business, the importance of understanding the technology, right? Knowing the fundamental differences between inverter versus string inverter. Now, if you have a system, all this thing is important. A micro inverter, for example, a device that connects to a single solar panel, converting direct current, which is DC current, from the panel into AC or alternating current, which can power household appliances. Okay. Now that's this small little device, or not doubling up small and little, just this little device that is underneath your solar panel. Okay. And everyone knows it converts direct power to AC power. Okay. The string inverter now aggregates the power output of groups of solar panels in your system into strings, multiple strings of panels that connects to a single. So you have multiple panels with strings and is connected to a single inverter. So this is the inverter. This is your control panel right here, right? And all the devices, all your modules and your solar panels are connected one to, and they then end up connected to your inverter. Whereas on your solar panels, the string inverter is directly attached to your solar panel. Okay, these solar string inverters do not have any micro inverters attached to your solar panel. That's the difference. Okay, you have one big inverter. All right, that's how that works. Number 7, understanding the importance of the layout and placement of your solar equipment. Orientation. That's what your installer is going to do. He's going to make the right orientation. He's going to create the right orientation. He's going to create your spacing and ventilation on the installation itself, and make sure, like we said earlier, you prepare for future expansion and maintenance access. This here is really big, maintenance access. Ensure the layout leaves room for adding more panels if needed, right? Maintenance access. Now, if needed, but also you're gonna want to maintain your system. You're gonna want to clean your solar panels, right? You're going to want to check and make sure that everything is secured also. So space, you're going to need space. You're going to need access for that. Okay. Now, choosing the right solar battery type for your business, right? Assess your energy needs. This always comes up. Assess your energy needs. You must know what your load is. Your need is your load. Okay. Because you have a system, and if you plug a television, a freezer, it doesn't matter what, that's the load. Okay, that's the load. Anything that's taking energy from your system, your production system, your energy production system, is called a load. So you're first going to assess your energy needs. Okay, that's your load. Okay, determine the desired backup duration on it. So for example, we heard just recently, Whopper acquired Wärtsilä generation. Okay, 7 megawatt generation. That means they're able to create 7 megawatts, but they also acquired a battery with it that is 2 megawatts. Okay. We also heard that WAPA has when WAPA uses 9 megawatt batteries, well, the capacity, they have batteries, they're 9 megawatt batteries, and they're only capable of supplying power, 9 megawatts, for 2 hours. Okay. So we have 9 megawatts of battery storage, and the duration here depends on how many customers. It only works for 2 hours. That's what we have to find out also. Say, for example, we have 4 refrigerators. They have to work 24 hours a day. If the power goes out, we have to know what sort of desired duration, backup duration we're going to be needing here in our business. So if we know the power goes out for approximately 6 hours, we're going to need batteries that has a duration for probably about 8 hours, right? Because we're going to want to be able to cover that time where the power goes out. So we don't know exactly every time how long the power is going to go out, but we're going to be able to say, you know what, let's do an estimate on our storage capacity. Okay, what can we do? Okay, let's create a storage capacity for 8 hours. That means it doesn't matter. We can only hold it for 8 hours. If the utility goes out for 8 hours, the sun goes out for 8 hours, we still have our generator, right? So we have redundancy. We have the utility, we have sun, and we have our generator. So for example, in case of an emergency, right? We know WAPA is going to give us everyday power for about 20 hours. 4 of those hours, we're going to have to do it on our own. Okay. And when's the best time? When's the best time for us to, include our power production in this system? We're going to say, okay, WAP is giving us 20 hours. How about we use our battery for only 2 hours, right? And use Whopper also for 4 hours. You can rotate here. You can set up a plan because you have 8 hours of battery storage, right? We already estimate we're going to need 8 hours. It doesn't matter what Whopper does. It doesn't matter what the sun does. We're able to cover our 4 hours because guess what? Whopper is giving us 20 hours a day. We can use this estimated storage capacity of 8 hours that we're going to create, and we can, just work it to satisfy us, to our needs. Okay. So that's what this is about, estimating your storage capacity, the desired duration you want that storage capacity to work, and how flexible you want to be with your storage capacity. Okay. Evaluate the battery options, that you go out and check the best batteries out there. Consult a professional, like we always say. And most importantly, consider factors such as maintenance requirements, lifespan, energy density, safety, environmental impact, monitoring, and protection. You see all these things here? These are the most important things at the end of the day. Okay? The most important things. All right? That's it. Now, let's go to the next thing, the next slide. Solar water heaters. Now, in the US Virgin Islands, the law states solar water heater systems are required for new construction or major renovations. 70% of your solar water heating capability must be provided by a solar thermal system. Everyone, this is the law, Act 7075, passed in 2009. So I will recommend, and someone asked earlier about this. Now, this has the capacity to reduce your energy consumption by approximately 10 to 25%. This right here, this solar water heater. And we do have rebates on it. So I recommend that anyone and everyone go out and get you one of those. Okay. I'll take questions on this one right now. Miss Industrious Phyllis. It takes a while before the message goes through. Anyone? Anything next? Now, solar thermal system, as you see, there are different types. And by using sunshine to heat or preheat your water, you can cut your water heating bill by, what did I say? 15 to 25%, and it says by half, right? Now, and the reason for that is if you're using a conventional water heater, it does have a thermostat inside of it. Most of the time it's set at 120 degrees. And you can also go inside and set it to another number, which is 90 degrees, which is more our ambient temperature in the Caribbean. So I will go and try to set it at the 90 degree position, because what a thermostat does, once it reaches the required temperature, it stays there. Now, after it cools, what's going to happen is the thermometer or the thermostat is going to tell the device, well, it's cool now. It's not 90 degrees anymore. You need to get it up to 90 degrees, which is going to activate some sort of sensor to say, well, you need to heat it up some more. You need to get it back. Throw some more heat in here, guys. We need to get it back to 90 degrees. And that's what keeps happening throughout the day. It drops and it heats up, reduces, goes back down, and it starts all over again. The cycle starts all over again, right? Imagine that happening with your conventional heater. With this now, this is on your roof. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to pay for that. That's doing all the work by itself. And it has many advantages. You know, the average life expectancy of a certified solar water heating system is 20 years. That means the collector, this part right here, most of the time they last a long, long time. You sometimes have to change the tanks, okay? Or they also have, let me show you. Now, the two types of solar thermal system, before I go any further and talk about the tanks, you have your thermal siphon, as you see, the collectors. These are the two collectors right here. This is your tank, okay? This is mounted, roof mounted also, right? And this system has a tank mounted above the collector, as we see here. As the collector heats the water, it raises the storage tank, right? It rises to the storage tank. So it heats right here, and then it goes in here, okay? Okay, that's how it works, okay? Now, while the heavier cold water sinks down to the collector, right? That's all it is. Heats, goes back up in here, right? This gets cool, this sends it back up again. It's just a rotating. This one is different. We have the tank. It's a direct loop. The tank is down in your basement. This is on your roof. And you have a solar pump up on your roof with a solar panel that circulates the water. So when it gets cool down here, it replaces it. It's just a loop going around. Okay. And then it's an electronic controller or a photovoltaic panel regulates the pump. Okay. You see a little photovoltaic or a little panel right here, right? That uses a circulating pump that sits up here, right? That pulls the water, once it's on the roof, pulls the water in the tank and replaces it as it gets cold. Okay? That's how that works. Electrical safety tips and rules, right? Electrical safety is the general practice of handling and maintaining electrically powered equipment to prevent incident. Everyone's safety is the most important thing when it comes to dealing with electricity. Safety. When it comes to commercial buildings, electrical safety should be a top priority for both owners and occupants, right? Ensuring safe electrical systems is crucial to protect people and property from potential hazards. So I cannot express this anymore. You know, safety is really one of the most important. Safety first, everyone. When you're dealing with electricity, safety. Anything that says electricity, electrical, safety first. By just sweating and getting and touching a wire that's exposed, you know, can kill you. It's a deadly experience. So please do your best and exercise safety all the time, okay? As a responsible building owner or occupant, taking proactive measures to prioritize electrical safety is vital. So no more on that, let's continue. Safety tips for commercial buildings. You can, these are maintain your appliances. We see this word a lot. Maintain, maintenance. This is large when it comes to energy efficiency and renewable energy. Maintenance of your appliances is so important. Schedule routine electrical inspections. Why? Because it's about safety. All this is about safety. If your equipment is not operating safely, if it's not in an environment where it's safe, it's not good. Install properly and tidy up electrical cords. Anything that has to do with electricity, you want to first look at safety. Okay, so if you can, everyone, you can just, these are just tips, safety tips. We see them all around. Please adhere to them. Okay. Energy, oh my God, this is large right here. And before I go into this, I would like to ask if anyone have anything to say about it, have anything they want to mention before I get into this, because this is one of our largest topics here, energy emergency plan. And because of this, we really do need backup power. Most people, only because of this, they have a backup power supply. So are there any questions before we get into this? I would like to take any questions before, because I'm going to go straight through it. Miss Industrious Phillips, anything, please?
No questions. We can proceed.
We can proceed. Okay. Now, everyone, we know, and we really know energy emergency plan. We have been going through it here a lot lately, and so we know what it is. So let's go into it. The Ready Business Program, with the aid of these toolkits, assist you by building and developing emergency plans for your business. So here are some tools that we have, just put together for you. This is just information that if you look into it, it will help to assist you in creating your own emergency energy plan. Okay? And the step-by-step guides will show you how to. Okay? But first of all, we're going to go through some pointers here. You have to, before you create a plan, what do you have to do first? You have to first identify the risk. Identify why you need this plan. And the reason we need this plan is because we know there's a risk here involved. Something is not right and we need to get it together. So what are we going to do? We're going to identify the risk, and then we're going to develop a plan for it. Once we develop the plan, we're going to take action. And how are we going to take action? Right? We're going to look into all of that. But first of all, be recognized and inspire others. Okay? That's what we're going to do. Okay, let's move forward. ways to deal with power outages. Okay, and that's part of our emergency plan, right? We're gonna find ways to deal with this because that is a problem. Outages and your business. Before a power outage, have a business emergency continuity plan. That means even though the power is out, your business is so well tuned and so well prepared, it can continue to operate during time of emergency. That's where your continuity plan comes in, right? So how are we going to do that? How are we going to maintain this operation? How are we going to, this continuity that we have during normal times? First of all, what we're going to do, we're going to obtain an alternate power source, right? We talked about that. We're going to have an emergency lighting ready, right? You're going to have all those. Establish shelter locations on your property. Prepare for your employees, education right there. Make plans regarding customers, education right there again. During a power outage, what are you going to do? First of all, communication, stay informed. Use standby or backup power for emergency power, right? Your battery. Remember, we talked about that batteries. We talked about that earlier, how we should go about working with them, how we should handle them, right? Another thing we can do, unplug or turn off all electrical equipment to prevent damage from electrical surges. We hear this or spikes when power is eventually restored. Now, we can use these practices in our own homes. We already do. We know once the power goes off, everyone should be running. And if you have a power strip, even better. Just as soon as the power goes off, turn off your power strip, right? Because we know surges might be coming back, right? Stay informed. These are just measures that is going to help you to have a business and have continuity during a time of emergency. Does it make sense? It makes a lot of sense. You know, that's when people are going to come to your business because they know it doesn't matter what's going on. This business has continuity because what? It already prepared itself. It was prepared. And during power outages, it knows best to stay informed. Okay? During power outages, it knows best how to stay informed. Okay, so let's continue. Power outages and your business. After a power outage, we mentioned that turn off the most essential equipment first, right? The most essential. Some systems or alternate power systems, as soon as your main power goes out, that comes on. Okay, remember that. So there are other measures that you need to do also before your power comes on. So turn on the most essential equipment first, okay, after a power outage. Only the most essential, because if you have your generator cutting in, you also need to go around and take off those excess equipment and make sure that you maintain, turn on, or keep on, right, your most essential equipment. So you have work to do in this plan also. You are going to be, when you say, your power plant CEO then. You have to take that responsibility. It's not going to do it by itself. You're going to have to now change your shirt from being a manager of your building to be a power producer manager of your building. So you see, there are many hats you're going to be wearing as a business owner during times of power outages or times of emergency. Okay, when it comes to restoring your power before and after. power outages. Okay, no problem. Wait 10 to 15 minutes before reconnecting other equipment to avoid overloading the electrical system. Now, this right here, you remember after the power outage, remember we talked about batteries, right? We have to make sure that we turn on most essential. Remember we said a designated equipment, essential equipment during power outages. So we're going to have a list prepared. We're going to have a plan. Remember we have our plan which we created before. Now we know this is a power outage. 10 minutes before reconnecting other equipment, right? Turn essential equipment first. You turn them on first. That means your lighting system. Okay. If you have a computer room where you need AC, make sure that is going to go on first. If you have a room where you need ventilation because you needed the ventilation to be consistent or whatsoever, that's going to be your essential equipment that goes on first. Okay, it depends on your business structure, what you do, but you want to make sure that essential equipment are on first. Okay, that's it. Give the system time to stabilize. Okay, that's it. Once it's stabilized, check your facility to make sure everyone is safe. Equipment is operating correctly. Okay. That, because now you become the power plant owner and operator. And we always say safety first. And you want to make sure that electricity is running in the direction it's supposed to go. Everything is operating correctly. Nothing is getting too much energy here or too less energy here, that the system is operating according to the way it is supposed to function. Okay, let's next one, please. Current financial incentives. We talked about energy office programs that can help, incentivize, your help you incentivize improving on your equipment in your business. And here they are. Now, the Virgin Islands Energy Office, we are thrilled, of course, to announce the launch of our equitable e-mobility rebate program, and it has to do with electric vehicles. We have here also e-bikes. You're eligible for a purchase from a qualified vendor of $500 for these bikes. You are eligible for $5,000 rebate for new vehicle and also used electric vehicles, and there are limitations on that also, as you see right here what the requirements are. And it started effective January 2024. Okay. But the new effective date for purchase is April 1st, of course, 2023. So this is one of the programs that we have here where you can get your tax incentives also are available for it, tax write-offs. So go and check this out. Another one that we have is our Vibes rebate. Now, this I know everyone is loving because it's about batteries, right? And we mentioned we need to have some alternative systems, in the case of emergency. So this was a great program for businesses, really great program. You get a maximum of up to $4,000, okay, rebate on a system. The size of the system, maximum size, is 14 kilowatt hours, and the minimum is 3 kilowatt hours. So, and calculated, they're saying was about $300 per kilowatt hour. So, that's a rebate you get. So, for example, if you get a 10 kilowatt system, right? A 10 kilowatt system, right? 10 kilowatts, 10 times 300, that's $3,000 right there. rebate. That's what you'll get. Okay. So for example, if the system, the 10,000 watt, 10,000 kilowatt hours system costs $10,000, you'll be getting a $3,000 rebate. So you actually only pay $7,000 for it. Okay, that's how that works. All right, let's move forward. Questions? Any questions, Miss? We're now at the question and answer session, and I'm now open to any questions.
Okay, I don't see any questions as yet.
No questions as
I
yet?
do see comments thanking you very much for this presentation.
Yeah, I hope everyone didn't go to sleep or they got so much information that they're all satisfied and they don't have any questions, but it's having a business, it's important that you do your planning. Planning is important in businesses. You have to do your projections. So, and you want to know your fixed costs, right? It's very important to have fixed costs, know what your fixed costs are, you know. So, yep.
A question just came in.
Mhm.
Regular electric hot water heater rebate?
Electric, which heater?
Regular electric hot water heater rebate?
Well, if it's Energy Star, do we have any Energy Star water heaters? That is a question, my question. Now, most of the time when you have elements heating anything, they're not really Energy Star, okay? It's hard to find Energy Star products with heated elements. So
Okay.
if it's not an Energy Star product, you will not find it on our list.
Here's another question. Would you please speak more about safety and best practices?
Safety and best practices. Well, if we go back, remember when we went back, we talked about power outages, right? And safety. This is one of the most important things I would think, when you have a business, because you want to, first of all, maintain, remember I mentioned this a whole lot, continuity, right? Your business, your business need to be continuous. Your business need to, also serve, make money. That's why you have a business, right? So the more you're closed, you're not really making money, right? If during a case of emergency, you're not able to serve your community or your customers, you're not making money. So that's why we say obtain an alternate power source, right? Not only that, establish and prepare your employees for this situation, right? If you're prepared, if you have a plan, you can continue to work and maintain your business operations, right? Okay. If you know what to do during a power outage and you keep your people informed, you stand by a backup power frame, you are able to maintain your operation much longer than someone who doesn't have a plan, right? Definitely, you know, you know, another thing after a power outage and best practices, right? This I think is the most important thing. Turn on the most essential equipment first. You imagine how important that is. For example, if you have a battery that only have 4 hours battery backup, and as the power goes off, you have all your equipment running on it for 2 hours. The amount of time that you're going to be able to run your essential equipment just decrease 2 hours right there, right? So you want to be, to get on your get on your your stations and let everyone know, hey, Power is out. Everyone, you know what to do. Let's implement our power outage plan. Okay, our continuity plan. All right, and that's what you're gonna do. Those are best practices. Okay, best practices, and most of all, you want to always review your preparedness plan to determine, right, what worked and what areas can be improved. Those are the things, those are best practices. You know, that's the best way I can answer this question, is saying best practices after you've been through a power outage, you go and do your review, review your preparedness plan. What worked, what didn't work, how can we improve? That would be the best way I would suggest. Okay. Not any other questions?
Thank
Oh,
you.
what was that in
We have another question.
Yes.
Would you advise bringing an electrician along the utility audit?
Oh, definitely. That will help, because now while you're walking through doing that audit, right? Here you can, this is what you're doing. You can actually have your recommendations, the recommendations for, to alleviate any shortcomings that you have, any deficiencies will be there immediately. You'll have an electrician will know what recommendations to make. That would be a complete audit right there. You have someone that's going to do the work. They're able to tell you what type of material, the best material, how long. So you'll be getting that would be very good to have the electrician there. And most of the time, right, without even saying anything, most of these guys who do audits, they are electricians. They have a vast amount of knowledge about electricity also. You have to have some knowledge about that, some training on electricity to be an auditor. Okay.
Here's another question. How about plumbing for water systems and HVAC?
Plumbing for water systems and HVAC.
HVAC,
Well,
I'm sorry.
HVAC, well, that is something that depends on the work you're doing. We always recommend, water sense products, right? When you're doing anything that deals with water, you want to use your water sense products. They're the most efficient products out there. Okay. And so I would always look towards water sense, when I'm buying any type of equipment to deal with plumbing. Okay, I would do hardware. I would do that. I would use water sense. I would follow their recommendations. Okay, they have proven themselves. They are developers of appliances, of materials that we use. We also saw that they're the most efficient products out there. Why not? I would go for that all the time. Water sense and Energy Star products. That would be my major.
Okay, so that's it in terms of questions. I guess we can proceed to our next slide.
Right. Okay. Okay, everyone. Those are the rebate. Okay, those are current financial incentive programs. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just a minute. Just a minute. Let's get here. We got the questions. Emergency plan. Okay, save to.
So you're actually going backwards. The next slide would be
Oh,
additional
hold
resources.
up. Hold up. We're getting there. Okay, almost there. Additional resources. That's what I wanted to get to. Everyone, while doing this presentation and doing the research for it, these are some of the resources that we use, right? And with ASHRAE, this is the American Society of Heating, Refrigerating, and Air Condition Engineers, Inc. Okay, that's where you could find everything you want to know about heating and air condition. Okay. Then you have Energy Star, commercial buildings, Energy Star manager, portfolio management, right? These are some of the links where I got some of these information from. Okay, so you can please use this for your benefit. And before we go any further, I'd like to say conserving energy saves you money and the environment. And thank you very, very much from the Virgin Islands Energy Office. My name is Carl Joseph for being here today. And thank you also, Miss Industrious Phillips, for inviting us from the VI Small Business Center. Have a great day, everyone.
All righty. Thank you for that. Let's go ahead and proceed to the next slide.
Uh-huh.
So the VI SBDC has so much more in store for USVI small businesses. You can visit our website at www.visbdc.org. Download the VI SBDC app on your mobile device from the appropriate app store. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google Business, and subscribe to the VI SBDC YouTube channel for new uploads of our on-demand webinars. We just want to give you guys a friendly reminder of the trainings that we have coming up. This afternoon at 2, we have the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. They're going to be presenting on patenting apps and software, U.S. patent practice. And then we have a training coming up on October 4th. It's entitled Effective Business Communication in 2024. And on October 11th, we have an in-person workshop, USVI Marketing, Learn How to Pitch Your Business. So once again, thank you everyone for attending. It was such a pleasure to collaborate with the VI Energy Office on this initiative. Please be on the lookout for that email that will include the post survey attached and a copy of this PowerPoint presentation. Thank you, everyone. And on behalf of the entire VI SBDC network, do enjoy the rest of your day.